Yeah, another shivery night. A little bit of frost on the ground when I got up at 6. Yeah, it's definitely crisp. I have my gloves on, and I have double hat. It just makes it more cozy. Good morning. I don't have my glasses on. I don't really need to see any details at the moment. Well, what can I show you? Well, I spent my first night in a different kind of dwelling. I don't know how to classify otherwise, but outside of the shed. This was my futon and bug net for up to now. And oh, there's some frost on the chair here. Yeah, definitely a cool one. Had a whole bunch of plants started for Raven, and I hope they make it through. It's been a few real bad nights, and I know plants I had last year in maturity, they handled a couple of frosts, but they didn't like it. That's for sure. And these guys are young, so I don't know how they'll do. There's some more frost on the tire. But I'll see if I can show you a little walkthrough of our new home. I guess you don't call it a house, but it is a home. And I'm grateful for what we managed to pull off. Mentioned in other videos, it'll mean that we won't have the money for a well and septic for a while, but you know what? It's summer. It should be fine. So I'm just gonna be careful because I have my boots on. Don't care for the smell of this, whatever they clean places with. To me, it has a hint of a Pepto-Bismol smell. I guess it will dissipate quite quickly over time, so I'm not going to complain. Just going to turn on a light. Don't want to leave lights on too long because right now they're all running off of a battery pack. But this is my bedroom. Mine and Raven's bedroom, but mine at the moment has a little 2 doors that close on each side, a his and hers sort of thing, or his and his for the his and hises, and the hers and hers for the hers and herses. But in our case, his and hers. There we go. Each with a little medicine side table and outlet and other. And then here we have a very dark, very dark other part. I don't know if there's an easy light that I can let me just try this. A light. A light. It's hard to figure out in the dark and without my glasses. Let me see. Is that a light switch? No. It's probably something as you come in. That would make sense. But, gosh, without my glasses, I won't know. So this is going to be a not so bright tour. I'll give a much more complete tour later. But it is a dwelling that eventually will have some heating. It's definitely cold out at the moment. And boy, It's an interesting layout. I was just kind of went into thought. Almost forgot I had the camera on. But there's our awning and kind of front yard. I gotta put my boots back on here. Yeah, I'm in the spirit of being transparent, like I mentioned, as part of this video series. I will mention that I was holding on pretty good, regardless of whatever. I really had a good, and I'm not saying had as in I don't now, but I felt quite, resilient, and I don't know. I was up and down, but I was holding out really good, and I don't know, the last few days, maybe it's just part of processing things, like a little back kick or something. Just trying to get my boot on here. I don't know, an energy bubble or something, but I just kind of hit a wall. And find my glasses. Yeah, I hit a wall of sorts, emotional, a little bit physical. Everything just seemed too much. And I got a night's sleep, but there. But still just feeling emotional. Just feeling a little bit sad, a little bit lonely. And I think there's a part of me that wants to judge myself for feeling weak. Part of me that tries to say that, I'm not a good provider for Raven. That I'm failing, but I know it's just an old program that I need to clear, and I guess this is how I'm clearing it. There's some sunlight coming through over here. I'm just gonna walk into it. Feel the warmth of the sun on my face. Yeah, it's difficult sharing emotions and things, especially with kind of an unknown public. But my reasoning was that I know a lot of people are going through really difficult times, and they get swallowed up. Their lives, their situations get swallowed up by the media posting what they want to post. Cases on the rise, this and that, and everyone gets wound up into it. And I'm not criticizing, I'm just observing. Oh, the sun. Oh. I'm observing things. In fact, actually, I've cut down a lot on I had moments, for sure, feeling judgmental in situations, and sort of the how can people be so stupid type of feelings. But I've really dissolved a lot of that, and I realize, everyone's caught up in a really complicated pile of layers and lies and distortion and confusion and fear and hopefulness, and then thrashing the hope, and then hope again, and whatever. Each person has their own unique experience they're going through. Some people are making money and nothing's been threatened there. Some people, it's just been ripped away from them. Um, some people are overworked, and that's their complaint. And I will admit, it's very difficult when you're earning a living, because I've done it for a long time. It's really difficult to have that just snatched out from under you. It's different if you just took time off and that job is there waiting for you just whenever you want, just knowing that you can. Um, but having all of your income, but it's more than that, your sense of meaning and purpose. And, in my case, I got so much out of helping others and spending time with an individual each day of my life working, and I loved it. Yeah, it was hard work and it was stressful at times. Someone expecting the ultimate that's permanently on their body. You can't take that lightly. You can't party the night before and then tattoo, sort of thing. It's something very, very deep and meaningful, from my perspective, anyways, and my clients. I can honestly say that I love and have loved every single one of my clients that have come through the door. And I have wanted their healing, their realignment, whatever you want to call it, coming into closer relationship with themselves, with the world around them, getting over hurdles, mental, physical illnesses, deaths in the family, all of the really difficult things that happen to people. And I feel blessed that I got to be a part of all those experiences, and I got to lend a hand in many cases. I was told by the person later that I made a big difference in their life. And it felt good. It felt really good. It's just amazing how everything can just be snatched by a circumstance. And I won't even get into the details of the circumstance. It's not the purpose of what I'm saying. It's just however you want to look at it, interpret it. Whether it's forged, whether it's accidental, whether it's whatever. I'm sick of it. I have my days where I'm sick of humanity. I don't want to be here. And I have my days where I've got a whole new pile of energy coming through and I love people. And I believe that's it's the true feeling, is that I love people. But, it's easy to go into some waves of, I think it's just anger, disappointment. Oh, that sun feels good. There's a saying, lean into God when times get difficult. Lean into God, lean into the universe, lean into whatever you want to call it, him or her. I don't think it really matters. But I'll say I don't have any perfect form of spirituality. I'm no perfect person. I don't know if there is one. But I definitely have my days, or have had my days, when I have gone into better, closer, more intimate relationship with myself and the infinite, as the Sufis call the beloved. And I'll tell you, I have had my fair share of soul searching during this time. And there's times where I get instant results, and sometimes more than I even expect, like a sense of warmth and presence and all kinds of things that I won't go into. But and there's other times where I just have such a deep, hollow feeling, just a feeling of an uncomfortable aloneness. Like there's comfortable aloneness, and I've had that many times, and for a large part of staying here. So just trying to sort of be with each moment of the experience and don't overthink it, but appreciate it and respect it and love that part of myself that's going through whatever it is that I'm going through at each moment, and also trust that it will pass. It's funny, the thought I had when I went in just now showing the trailer, because it's so cold inside it. The moment I don't have any electrical hookup, and um, I haven't gone through the manual anyways for turning on certain things. I'm sure it's just a flick of the switch once it's plugged in. And I'm sure I probably could and will even figure out, if I wanted to, I don't really want to right now, figure out the propane heater. Um, but there's just that part of me that knows a winter is coming down the road and wants to have some sense of security that guaranteed no problems, that place is going to be easy to keep warm. So just that unknown, just, once things are in front of you, you start to question things. Wow, I have so much respect for the early settlers that settled here, settled anywhere, but especially in really cold places, or at least they get cold at times. I can't imagine people just, after being on a boat and getting sick and having scurvy and who knows what else, and probably one of their family or friends on the boat died, and then they get here and they've got to start out anew. But I don't know, but I think there would have been some really strong sense of community because you would need it. I feel such a strong need for just good, warm souls around me. Not all the time. Like I am someone who really likes their privacy. I need my privacy. I need times where I just got to get away from everyone and just go and meditate or read a book or listen to something, go for a walk, just work on a project. That's one of the greatest things about being an artist is I can just work in a solitary way, or I can work with other people around me. It's just my choice. But wow, this is like the longest time I've been without putting my creativity into action, and I think I was meant, in a sense, if you want to put it that way, I was meant to experience being without something that I have almost taken for granted on certain levels. I'm always appreciative of, but I'll explain what I took for granted because I didn't know it was provided by the process of creating. When I create, there's no perfection. I have my frustrated moments. I have my moments where I could just go, oh God, I almost felt like destroying that if it was just so, it's not working today, that kind of feeling. But overall, I generate and things get going. It's like going into another world, a beautiful, wonderful storybook when you're a kid, kind of never ending story type of thing. And I'm realizing now that's a necessity for me. I have to create something once in a while, at least, to keep myself alive. Ouch. And I don't know how people who don't identify as being creative, which I think they're misidentified, but that's my thought. I don't know how those people can go for a lifetime without creating something. For those that are like that, I just can't comprehend it, because right now I'm without that. And when I'm busy, I forget for a while. But I'm realizing now that the creative process in itself is a sacred and necessary act, process to, I think it's, well, you can live a life without, technically, breathe through life without any creative expression, but I think part of you dies when it doesn't have a chance to activate the essence, the energy that is activated when one creates. And I'd like to have this conversation with a lot of artists and just see what they think after they've been through. Not saying that they've all had to stop creating, but they must have had at least a glimpse of something uh, similar to what I'm speaking about. And so, anyways, this brings me to a place where I think about my soul print tattooing and how I'm expanding that, my attempt to expand the healing aspect, the soul print aspect, which I use because it's like a print, like a footprint left by the soul, by sort of heart connected. I look at the heart as being an organ of perception that, among other things, is your physical slash, it's like one foot in each door. It's partially physical, partially energetic and emotional and everything. And I think large part our bodies are, and that's an aspect of, some people think the body's physical and the soul is something else, and they're separate things, and you should deny your body and deny your physicality. And I don't agree with that. I think that the physicality anchored into the energetic, spiritual aspects of ourself, which are less visible, um, opens something really deep and provides an opportunity for a level of healing that big pharma, if they were in their right mind or had a right mind, if they were human in nature, would bow to the level of healing from the creative act and the heart activated, and with the person opening their heart and their lovingness towards others, selfless, does something that we I don't believe we've even scratched the surface of. And for me, I feel that this is a great time for people to recognize some things that they haven't recognized before, just like I'm recognizing some things. I'm sure everyone, if they sat down, and I'm sure many have, that they would start to recognize little truths, little things that whisper to them. I call that, we called it different things over different times. We called it the library angel. When you just find something and it's like, wow, if I had to look for that, it would have taken me forever, and it just popped up in front of me, but right when I was needing it. I have times in my life where things just start to go smooth, and I'm surfing the wave. Captures that feeling. It could be all kinds of things that you could get pulled into and sucked under by, but if you can get on that surfboard and surf that wave, it not only do you survive it, but there's something beyond that the word thrive just slightly captures. But anyways, that's the healing energy that I work with in my tattooing practice, and why I call it soul print. I remember some tattoo artist, I can't remember, someone was telling me about it. They had a sign on their door saying, "When is a tattoo just a tattoo?" And instantly I get an answer to that one, and it's like, never. A tattoo, even if it has gone or was applied in a sort of a dormant, soulless, distracted way, just can't wait to get to the next break and get this person out the door kind of thing. Um, at most, I think it's, I don't know, asleep, maybe, just inactivated, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe some tattoos just don't have anything. I don't know exactly. I have my theories. But I do know that tattoo experiences can happen without intention between a tattoo tattoo artist, tattooist, and their client. And profound healing things can happen when there was no intention initially. But I believe there had to be some heart, um, some soul, something within one or both of those people for it to happen. And I think those moments happen in everyday life as well, apart from a tattoo. But the tattoo experience, the soul print, the tattoo experience provides an opportunity for the soul print to unfold and to happen. And I believe the essence in the practice, whether dormant or awake, just like a plant or a seed that hasn't been activated, but all the potential is in there. I think that there's a spirit, a soul, a presence, an intelligence in the procedure. I've participated in and studied many things, and I've done a handful of ayahuasca ceremonies, some in Peru and some here. I've done a lot of LSD in my past for the purpose of spiritual exploration when I was younger with Raven, mushrooms. Always had a great respect for them. I know that when I was in Peru, the facilitators and the ayahuasquero spoke about the plant, well, the mixture, because it's multiples activating each other. The Banisteriopsis capivine and the other activator that switches sometimes, but they refer or they speak about her as a consciousness, and I felt the presence. I would say it definitely begs one to open up their capacity to register what a presence or personality is. But there's definitely something, and even what alive is. I know that indigenous people of this area especially, they have their rocks for the sweat lodge, and there's specific numbers of rocks, and there's specific rocks, and they believe, and they have a long history of believing that, so good reason behind it, I would say. A lot more insight. Their ancestors have been around unaffected by a lot of the colonizations that we've been through and programming and stuff. And I do believe the essence of some of their stories, spiritual stories and prophecies, contain locked or unlocked information that we could all benefit from if we listen. But anyways, back to the rocks. They believe that those rocks have a consciousness, and an ancient consciousness. My dogs are barking. I'm just going to go back, barking at something. Here we go. But I'm opening my mind more and more throughout experiences to different paradigms, and I would say one of the difficult things is, or the beautiful things is, Raven and I both have explored many religions, many forms of spirituality, many indigenous connections and approaches. And I can, as much as I get really connected with certain ones, I can never commit to a system. I can find one that's sort of like a core for the time being, and then opens up, and other aspects of other beliefs seem to just patch in nicely with that one or those ones. Yeah, still got a bit of shadow here to overcome. I quite like it in the sun, so I think now that the dogs know I'm here, they've quietened down. I'm gonna go back. I like to sit on that piece of wood in the sun. Was really nice. But yeah, these times, are great for introspection and contemplation of things. I'm sure many people are. Here's my teepee that Mark and Wendy and fam put up for us. We've got to get a new skin for it to stretch over. That's another thing. I am so grateful for all of our deep friends, close friends, loving friends, and just times where God, it's so weird how I can feel so alone, and other times so connected. And sometimes I can feel so alone in a crowd, and sometimes I can feel so connected with no one around. So it's not people specific always, but I do find that knowing we have a community of some kind, or believing we do, but knowing is better, is a very important thing to have. Community, like, what is community? People pulling together, sharing some common goals. I guess a community could form if there were a handful of people out away from a city or anything, and they depended on each other in some way, just for helping each other out or something. And maybe one person is, I don't know, raising sheep, and they can contribute wool for making clothing, and someone else is growing certain vegetables, and they can contribute their extra vegetables. And that's, I guess, where the marketplace comes in. And I think that's why quite often markets are hustle bustle, exciting places where different people meet that otherwise wouldn't, and interact and exchange and stuff. Oh, wow, it's amazing, this sun. Just slowly everything warming up. Oh, it's exquisite. The things I wonder that's connected to what I've been saying is, however this whole lockdown thing is going to end, I don't know, or if, or when. But my question within is, Are people going to get something from this to move forward and to avoid, and I mean, separate from getting a virus versus not getting a virus, I'm talking about living life and valuing things. Are people going to just, including myself, I'm asking myself this as well, are people going to just go back into their old patterns, their old habits, their old desires, their old addictions, their old everything? Or are they going to take advantage of this as a turning point and shift and really make an effort to see what's laid in front of them? Whether you want to call it God, you want to call it the universe, the infinite, fairies and elves, um, Great Spirit, Allah, or whatever, you know. I can't go to that place where there's nothing. I know some people, atheists and stuff, that's their feeling. And I'm sure there's a million ranges of that too. And I just don't have any desire to go there. I feel a presence. I never connect to an exact label. In fact, in many ways, I don't like labels or even words. You know, they're a love-hate thing. But I definitely feel a presence, more sometimes than others. But sometimes I'm comfortable calling it God. Sometimes I'm comfortable calling it many different things, or just wondering. But I guess I'm blessed that a large portion of the time I can connect to that soulfulness that is within each of us, and sort of a oneness. That's an aspect of why I find the heart as an organ of perception, as I mentioned earlier, is a great conduit between soul and our physicality. Sounds in the forest are so lovely. Different birds. Oh, this is such a nice way to let yourself wake up. Just feeling that sun before it's too hot, too bright, just to let it warm the backs of your eyelids, the outsides of your eyelids. Oh gosh. You know, it's the simple things in life that can be the most potent and powerful.